wanted to do everything different. I started attending church every week. I started attending a Bible study. I started attending Sunday school. I continued with the discipleship, and I wanted to do everything different than I had ever done before. Things that weren't related to the sin that brought me to him, he started to reveal those to me instantly. It was like I look back and it happened very quickly for me. I mean, I have watched other people and it's more of a process, but for me it was almost instantaneous where he chose me, I agreed to follow him, and things started to drop away. It was interesting to me because my whole life I had been very open-minded. It was something I was proud of. Nobody could shock me, is what I used to say. Like, it doesn't shock me. Nothing would shock me. I would try anything, and I was fond of saying, well, I don't want to regret things I haven't tried. But almost instantly, he started to close my mind. And I felt restrictions placed on me. The restrictions weren't confining, though. They were freeing. It was like for the first time in my life, I had boundaries to operate within, and it was good. It's really good. And just little things like maybe one day I was swearing and the next day I'd wake up and say, no, the Lord that's not what he desires for me. He wants all of me. He wants me to honor him. You don't honor him by having a trash mouth. And so that would be taken away. And even things I would watch on television, this is not honoring to the Lord. I'm not going to do this anymore.
And within still feeling nothing, and I was about ready to go to bed, and there was this kind of a still small voice, if you will, that said, read your Bible. And I thought, man, the last 5 or 6 times I've tried to read my Bible, I didn't get anything out of it. It made no sense at all. It was like gibberish. But I thought, well, okay. So I grabbed my Bible, opened it up, started reading the New Testament. It was like every single word was leaping off the page. And I was reading the Gospels, and I was reading about Jesus, and I'm going, my goodness, how come my church isn't talking about this guy? Yeah. I mean, he's amazing, And it was then I went, oh, something's changed in me. But I found immediately when people would say, Jim, we're going to go out, you want to go and, join us or something? I'd say, no, I don't. I'm sorry, I can't make it or whatever. And at first it was kind of mousing around with, I've got other things I got to do. But at a certain point, I began to be identified as a believer. We had a strong Christian group in our high school that began to hang out together, and we had Bible studies together and things of that nature. But I began to tell people, I don't do that anymore. And I actually began to give witness to the fact that I've given my life to Christ.
I've been lonely since then. I've been sad since then, but I've never since that second been empty. And it's completely different. And I remember me and a couple of my buddies, it was 8 hours we were studying the Bible. We were reading and going through. And
so immediately you were reading the Bible?
Oh my goodness. I don't know where that came from. Well, I do now, right? Yeah. But I just had this hunger for that. And
for what?
For the Bible, for figuring out who Jesus was. This hunger, not just for the Bible, it would be a hunger for Jesus, and the Bible reveals him, so I'm going to go read about that, right? As soon as I came home, it was like, what else could I do besides tell people about Jesus? And ever since then, that's kind of been my life.
Yeah, it's just the next step.
Yeah, how could you not, right? Do you realize what just happened in my life? Do you realize what just happened inside of me? Do you realize this change that I just experienced?